the end of the day, it's just what happens at the end of the night. I'm not in there to try and knock Jake out in 10 seconds or 8 rounds. I'm gonna go in there and do a job. I'm gonna wanna hurt him. You know, I'm gonna wanna really hurt him in the ring. That's what I wanna do. That's what I'm here to do.
Jake Paul's latest training clips have people talking, but Anthony Joshua sees something different. Confidence turning into full-blown overconfidence. Joshua explained that Jake believed in himself so much that he truly thought challenging a heavyweight champion made sense. For AJ, the fact that Jake even felt ready to face him showed how far Jake is from understanding what elite boxing really is. Joshua broke down the difference between being big and being skilled. He said that even if Jake Paul were physically larger than Gervonta Davis, Davis would still dominate because timing, instincts, and real talent aren't things you can fake. AJ wasn't comparing them for a real fight. He was making a point. Size means nothing when the skill...
Maybe you haven't seen another competition you faced so far.
From a physical aspect, I couldn't even mention it at the minute. But from a mental aspect, he offered me the fight. Normally, I'm offering people fights. He's told me, come and fight. So
skill gap is massive. Former heavyweight champion Andy Ruiz spoke from experience when offering Jake Paul advice. He told Jake to stay grounded, believe in himself, and not let fear take over as the fight with Anthony Joshua gets closer. Ruiz knows what it feels like when the world doubts you. He lived it in 2019 when almost nobody believed he could beat Joshua, yet he pulled off one of boxing's biggest upsets. His message to Jake wasn't that belief alone wins fights, but that fear destroys a fighter long before a punch lands. Against someone with Joshua's power and precision, staying mentally strong is just as important as physical training. Ruiz reminded Jake that courage and clarity are what keep a fighter alive in a matchup this dangerous.
Would have struggled in some aspects, but I think he would have got the victory.
Think Gervonta would have got the victory?
Yes, because of his counter-punching ability. So I think he would have, like, you know how he done with Frank Martin, kept his tight guard, took some shots on the gloves, figured out his distance, and then...
Legendary ring announcer Michael Buffer gave credit to Jake and Logan Paul for bringing a new wave of young fans into boxing. He praised their ability to create hype and draw massive audiences. But when it comes to Jake fighting Anthony Joshua, Buffer's tone shifts completely. He warned that Joshua isn't just a big name. He's one of the most explosive punchers of this era. Buffer said Jake absolutely must improve his defense because Joshua's power is on a different level. Social media fame and entertainment value mean nothing once the bell rings. Joshua has knocked out world-class fighters, and Buffer made it clear that stepping into the ring with a man like that carries real, career-altering danger. Commentator Aries Spears was brutally honest. He said that if Anthony Joshua somehow lost to
Jake and Logan, first of all, are fantastic athletes. You know what Logan does with the WWE and what Jake does with boxing, he knocks people out and everything. And they both have massive fan bases. And for me, it's great to see people get young people that follow them that didn't have, like, you know, they don't remember Ali or Joe Frazier or whatever. It's not in their wheelhouse. So it's great to see them developing fight fans and a big fight atmosphere. So it's very exciting.
These two stood face to face, and the comment section on the internet was going crazy. They were like, call the ambulance now, basically. Like, Anthony Joshua looks dangerous standing next to him.
Anthony Joshua is, at this time, and has been for years, the biggest puncher in boxing. He's a devastating puncher. So I got to give Jake a lot of credit for wanting to take this fight.
Yeah, it's not. A lot of people saying it's not smart. If he somehow was able to surprise the world, what does this do for him?
The word would be surprised if he shocked the world. But that's exactly why you got to give him credit. He wants to do it. He trains hard, he works hard, and he has a lot of faith in himself. So we'll see what happens.
Technically, though, what's the biggest concern for you what's the biggest tip you could give?
Jake Paul, the public would instantly assume the fight was staged. Not because of corruption, but because the mismatch is that big. Spears wasn't attacking Jake. He was highlighting how unbelievable an AJ loss would look considering Joshua's experience, power, and pedigree. To many fans, the skill gap is simply too wide to imagine any other outcome. Boxing analyst Joey Knight explained that Jake Paul's decision to fight Joshua has more to do with business than competition. Jake understands the power of big names, big audiences, and big paydays, and he knows how to use media to maximize every moment. But Knight warned that financial strategy doesn't protect you from punches. Joshua's strength, experience, and technical mastery make him one of the most dangerous opponents Jake could possibly choose. Knight emphasized that Jake may be underestimating what it truly means to step in with a heavyweight who has faced the best in the world. Beyond the money and the spotlight, this fight could change Jake's career forever.
Chance of going on to earn even more paydays, whereas the damage that it could do to his body could be irreversible for that opportunity to earn money in a boxing career going forward. So is this the retirement bag, or do you actually think you can win? Because I read a study recently, and I believe it said something along the lines of men overemphasize or overcalculate their ability to fight by about 500 times. And I'm saying Jake Paul would probably need to be 500 times better to stand a chance against Anthony Joshua. And I can't get how he doesn't already know this. Surely he has sparred with heavyweights. Surely the recent sparring that he had with the likes of Shakur Stevenson and with the likes of Ray Ford, amongst others, Badu Jack, surely that would have taught you that there are levels to boxing. And if these small guys are able to show you things that you had no idea that you were vulnerable to in a boxing ring, what happens when someone who hits 4, 5, 6 times as hard as that does the exact same thing to you and lands it on your chin? The whole reason of why I know where I am in the influencer boxing scene, in the misfit scene, is because of the level that I have sparred at. I've sparred boys that have gone on to box for world titles. I've sparred with English champions. And
Cruiserweight champion Johnny Nelson raised serious concerns about what could happen if Jake suffers a brutal knockout. He noted that Jake has become one of the biggest financial attractions in the sport, often paying opponents massive amounts to secure fights. But Nelson warned that a bad loss could hurt Jake physically and damage his long-term value as a draw. He said that some people even speculate Jake might not return to headline events if this fight ends violently. For Nelson, this matchup is a crossroads. It could elevate Jake's career or shut the door completely. The host of the Wade concept broke the matchup down technically, and his conclusion was simple. This fight makes no competitive sense. Jake Paul doesn't yet have the timing, defense, or toughness needed.
Like this, we'll probably watch it because I want to see Jake Paul getting knocked out. So what does it say about AJ and what does it say about Jake Paul? I think I was thinking upside down. For AJ, I thought, Mama's cashing out. He's cashing out because he's going down this minute line. But I thought, in reality, is he? Realistically, he's thinking, you know what, this big mouth YouTuber stroke boxer has the cheek to call me out. I'd be pissed off at that, if I'm honest with you. I'd be upset if I was AJ, thinking, that's disrespect, man. You think you can deal with me? But he didn't. AJ was jovial and he commended Jake Paul's business acumen, saying, we've sat down, the deal's been done. But still, it just leaves an odd taste in your mouth. So as long as AJ gets the job done, and I mean gets the job done, shows his world-class pedigree, and wipes this boy out, then everybody's happy. But how does it enhance his career? The only way it enhances his career is financially. That's it. No other way. There's no props from beating Jake Paul, apart from saying, thank God you shut him up. For Jake Paul now, I got to give this boy props, because he now has our attention and the whole world is talking about Jake Paul.
I want to say a big thanks to our sponsors, Bet Goodwin, for supporting That Boxing Show. Now, if you're interested in having a little flutter, or as I...
From a pure boxing perspective, Wade sees almost no scenario where this matchup is safe or logical. Anthony Joshua also spoke about Francis Ngannou turning down a fight with Jake Paul. AJ called it a questionable financial decision. saying that boxers rarely get offered such profitable opportunities. Former UFC star Chael Sonnen agreed, saying Ngannou should have taken the fight strictly for the money. Their shared view highlighted a reality of modern boxing. Sometimes the business opportunity matters just as much as the competitive one. This fight has grabbed global attention because the gap between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua is enormous. Jake is younger and full of energy, but those things can't replace the years of experience, ring IQ, and elite skill that Joshua has built at the highest level. That's what makes this matchup so shocking. The imbalance is so unusual that people can't look away. It's risky, dramatic, and unlike anything the sport has seen in years. And with that, we wrap up today's breakdown. Stay tuned for the next video, and don't forget to subscribe Bloodline Boxing.